Oh, there we go. Sorry, looks like I had to click that. I think. Maybe.
You're good. Yeah, you're good.
Can you guys hear us? Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
Good. It helps if I didn't have my thing on mute. But
Hello, hello. So we have... What do we have on the call right now? I know I have a couple people. I see we have Agent and Amanda, and Blizz and Chaos, Coffee, Smitty, and Beardo. Now, I know that I can hear at least one of them.
yeah, you can hear me.
Can you hear me? This is Amanda.
Yeah.
I can hear Amanda, yes. Hello, Amanda. I can't hear...
Hello.
Smitty is muted currently. Agent is also muted, and Beardo was saying he couldn't hear anyone. Now, why that is, I don't know exactly. Here's Smitty.
Hey, everyone.
Hello, sir.
Hi, it's me.
So, I guess we'll let the others chime in as they may. Welcome to... Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
I can hear you guys now.
Hey, there we go.
I can hear ourselves through somebody's microphone.
Yeah, Beardo's we're picking up your
A little too loud.
audio.
Yeah, hang on one second.
So don't worry. It's funny. Just gonna turn it down.
Who is Coffee Breath? That's a good question. I for sure, when I first saw it, I
Your
thought...
question number one isn't where all the sexual energy is? That's what I'm wondering.
Ooh, don't do that.
I need to know whose body is buzzing, and I definitely don't need to know who's perspiring. Thank you.
I'm super hot.
This is not that kind of gathering.
This is not.
Younglings
No.
are still awake.
What's up, Ryu? How's it going? Alright, so I'm not sure if some of the other members here are having audio issues or not, but I know that I can hear some of them, and I hope that you can also hear some of them. Welcome to the first ever Black Order Leadership Summit. I actually think going forward we might want to do these more often. I don't know if everybody else would be willing to do something like that, but maybe just, whenever something somewhat moderately large is going on in the community, we could get a group together, whoever's available, and chat about it for the family to interact with us. It's always nice to get out there and do that. So right now I have up on the screen, I believe you should see I believe this is an announcement from today, Alliance War Season 19 node combination feedback, which is a new thing. They were talking here about basically some of the pushback that they had regarding the Alliance War, the new map, and the changes and everything. Topic number one: the background on the new map is just an atrocity. It's the worst
Terrible.
thing.
Oh my good lord. Jesus.
God awful.
My eyes burn.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's literally one of the worst things.
It's
retina
probably
burning.
it's very akin to those other game modes that they tried and failed. You know.
Yeah, I was gonna say somebody did that in
So-
Quest. They did that in Quest a long time ago, didn't they? And they got really bad
Yeah.
feedback about it.
It was
Yeah, I
bad.
think it was in the 6.4 beta. I want to
Yeah.
say the one with the Iceman boss. It was
Oh,
like
sure.
a really
That
similar
sounds right.
background.
6.4.
Yeah, I don't know why.
But yeah,
Like,
the background's so bad I can't even read the notes.
yeah.
This wasn't bad.
It's a bit too much of a clash, I would say, for certain. I think you need to have complementing tones in there, not like bright blue and dark black for everything. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely like somebody who said they need to have dark mode, like a dark mode option.
Nighttime
That's
mode.
Brilliant. I love that. I was like, oh man, they should have totally. It's not like Google Maps, where it's like it turns dark outside and then it just turns dark on the map.
Google
Oh,
Maps.
If only, if only. You know.
Yeah. Google Map
Sniper
mode.
off to the.
I don't think I've ever written down. A TBO war died 3 times for clearing my path. I didn't clean my path. I was dead. Ask Winter. She'll tell you. The worst. What's up, Spud? Okay, so let's see what they say here. A lot of the share your opinions. Alliance war no's. Feel they were more punishing than they should be. We've been reading through your feedback. Learned a lot. There are a lot of you. Feedback can get lost. Blah, 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 blah. Important things to note. Whatever, nobody cares. So, yes, there is, having done one war now, I think that anyone who's in the tier 5 plus wars can agree that some of these nodes that they've put in have made like one of the biggest feedbacks that we had was as a community as a whole that war was too difficult. It was burning people out, and the new iteration of the war map and some of these node combinations that they put in place, I don't know like how much thought they really put into it, but
Not a lot.
it's pretty bad, I think. So
It's about as bad as. I mean, we ran one BG just to kind of scout it out, and in Maw, and it was just like it was just immediately apparent that it was just chaotic, and all of the node combinations.
It was pretty clear right off the bat that we had to go through BG.
It was immediate. Yeah, I was like, oh. And I think you called it, Beardo. I think you called it immediately, and I was just literally typing it at the same time you said it.
I was going through my path alone, and I figured, like, I can't imagine how everyone else is.
yeah. Meanwhile, at Thanos, he had a path with no enemies on it, so that was perfect.
If only that could happen everywhere. Then I
Actually,
would
it
have
was on
no
one of our
problem
paths.
before at all. I'd be okay with it. It's like, oh, really? My path is clear.
I think too,
I'm
like
good.
the nodes are one thing, but once they introduce the stubborn tactic, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I think even with the what do we call it here, the nerf to the stubborn tactic with the only one indestructible, I just don't know if it's even a good idea to have stubborn at all, but
I agree.
we'll see what they do, because I mean, obviously they have seen a lot of negative feedback already, and it's pretty young still, so I would imagine
Here's a
that
good
some
question.
things, they may eliminate
Has any-
defense tactics entirely for this next coming season.
Has anybody watched any other feed or anybody else's reaction to this new stuff? Any other videos like at all? So I've been watching a lot, and it's pretty consistent across the board.
I haven't watched any videos, but I've been reading Twitter.
It's negative, big time. A lot of the videos, the people that have put out anything, all of it's. I mean, the general consensus is war is a sham, It needs to be completely revamped. It needs to just be complete. Like the map is one thing. Like I'm okay with the map, not the backdrop, but the map itself, the structure of the lanes and how it goes. It's a lot less confusing and it's more condensed. But like the nodes, node combinations, the backdrop, everything else is just a disaster. So
Let's be
I
real.
think.
All right,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead,
Hunter.
Amanda.
I think that like overall they took the existing feedback that everyone had about war and about nodes, and then they just made everything worse.
oh yeah, they're like, we're like, yeah, screw you guys, we're gonna do what we want to do, and then we're like,
Yeah, it's
what?
just totally tone deaf the way that war was changed.
As long as flow exists, no one is going to care about any other tactics at all.
Yeah.
They're not
That's the
taking it
piece that's really
away.
frustrating about it. Is it's just the same tactic over and over and over again.
Right. And now it will be stubborn on every war, and I mean, it's not changing the fact that one global tactic is dictating the entire war meta that we have right now.
Yeah, I think it's always kind of been that way, though. Unfortunately, I mean, if you look back historically, having been in tier 3, 4, 5 wars for a while now, when they first introduced defensive tactics, it was pretty much, I think, dodge was like every single war that you ran into was dodge. Then there was the siphon wars for a while. Flow wars is the newest thing. Crush never was really a thing. Some people ran it, but it was pretty uncommon. And but it's been pretty consistent that the dodge days, Tommy. It's always been like 90% of the community in the upper tiers used the same defensive tactic across all battle groups all the time, and then you had the occasional one or two people mixed in who were trying something different because of whatever reason. So I think that the overwhelming consensus through the community was basically that defensive tactics should essentially be eliminated, and instead of eliminating them, they basically added more, which was like you were saying, they listened to what people said and then it's kind of like did the opposite essentially.
I think what they could have done was either take defensive tactics away completely, which people would have been fine with nodes otherwise, I think. Or they should have a limit on it. Like, the season, you have to use each tactic a certain number of times. And that's it. You have to use all the tactics. And so that limits you into using each one once or twice. I could have lived with that.
There she is.
Yeah, Chris, I think you're right. I think that they are trying to make it so that people stop trying to 100% the map, but that's just not realistic.
Sorry. Yeah, I think that just in general, the point that they were on where it was like, we don't want you to be able to 100% the map, was never a realistic thing because everyone was always
Eating
trying
hard
to have
thing.
to.
Yeah.
To play the game.
Yeah, it creates an issue where alliances expect you to be able to clear your paths, and it creates more tension and more stress for the players when they say that we don't want you to do it because they're expected to do it.
And Cody, I agree. I mean, if they didn't want us to 100% the map, then put more than 10 paths on a map. You know what I mean? But definitely, like, all it does is cause more spend.
Yeah, I actually like the idea of
pretty much
adding
I view everything they do as a cash grab first, and I work my way back from there. Because then I'm not disappointed in it. If that's terrible, then I am a terrible person. But that's just how I review it.
Yeah, I would think that the idea, and I've had it in the past, I thought that maybe it would be a good idea to, make it impossible to 100% the map and let people kind of dictate where they want to explore through it.
Which, but that is immediately self-defeating. So it's like, do you want to feel defeated by the game, therefore creating it impossible to do something?
I don't know that that's
but if
strategic.
there's more paths than is possible to do, I don't think that's defeating. You would just do what you can,
I'm just saying it's like in a general sense, like in a general thought process, to maybe the person that just started this game and they're doing wars for the first or second time, they go, why can't we it's just like, is it impossible to do this? Why would I do it if it's impossible to do it? Maybe that goes through their mind.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I get what you're saying.
But for us, and for, Thanos specifically, I'd say, I don't know, not downplaying anybody else, but like when you're that high level, top 50, it's jazz. It's like you're playing. It's a different thing, and you're going to do what you can do to solve whatever you can solve, and typically the people have the rosters to do it. But if you're low, if you're a starter alliance or a stone or something ridiculous, and more power to you, but that's going to be tough.
I think though, like the other thing with that is that not many stone alliances probably even have enough players to finish the map.
Yeah, there's no. I went from not doing wars. I wasn't even in an alliance to doing. I think we were like silver. It was like immediate. So,
yeah.
I've never even seen what a stone map, even looks like. So I don't know.
You were in the participation category?
I wasn't in the participation category, which was funny to think. But, yeah, I just don't know. From silver 3 to plat 4.
I like delete war.
That's quite a jump.
Only quest and story. Perma offline, and I'm happy camper. I don't think that a lot of people would be happy. I think one of the key aspects of this game, especially for anyone in our alliances, is the community aspect of it. The feeling of having your band of brothers, so to say, that you go to battle with day in and day out and build relationships with. I think that's what ultimately keeps people playing. So I think the alliance aspect is very important to the game and the future of the game, and making that a priority. Yeah. So
I mean, they missed the mark on war for a while. I mean, I remember when they first changed over to the new war format, and a lot of players that I was playing with at the time just basically threw their hands up. Like, no, that's not what what is the point? They just couldn't get over it, but we kind of adapted to it. But now this new format, it seems like we're just doing the same thing again. But this one is just like, it's just such a...
Well, and that's the thing. I feel like we just adjusted to this new map.
Yeah,
like, I feel like this new map just came out. And it's so much work to, like, completely replan defense, completely replan paths, do rank ups if you need to in order to deal with certain nodes. Yeah,
it's almost like the equivalent of putting a salary cap in. Like for a team sport, you put a salary cap in and lower the salary cap, so it's harder for you to win a championship. It's harder for you to go through this map right now with the format that it's at, the node combinations that it's at. Aesthetically, it looks crappy, but war has always been kind of this thing where, to me, it's always been like the subpar category. I've always been a more of an AQ-minded person. It seems to be more my style for the type of game that I play. I know that a lot of people share that same thought, too.
Yeah, I mean, war could be really fun and really great if it was executed well.
Oh, yeah.
There was a time that I loved war, and it was my favorite game mode, but the way things have been going, like, mostly since Flow came is when I stopped enjoying war.
Yeah.
Agree.
Flow definitely changed everything. I really think. I mean, when that kind of happened, Siphon before it, and then Flow right after. War was fun.
New
the first
rewards
seasons.
are still not worth it. Like the rewards for War have never been worth the effort and the time that we actually have to put into it.
Right.
With that,
Absolutely, that's absolute fact.
That being said, I have up on the screen now for the stream the
Good segue.
the Alliance Wars here. I intended to talk about it a little bit earlier, and there's been multiple videos by different content creators for the game that have kind of said it's kind of a slap in the face to everyone, the majority of people within the community, because you're talking a good portion of your player base is in the Silver 3 to Platinum 4 range. I guess Platinum 3 range. And then Platinum 2 and up is kind of like your tip of the iceberg group. So, and when you look at the rewards, like essentially they really just padded all the rewards for the top 0.1%, your rank 1 through master groups and Platinum 1, and then it falls off right after Plat 2 basically to almost nothing, it seems.
Yeah, we felt that. We felt that when we saw this come out. I know myself, Beardo, he could probably speak for himself on this, to be honest, but we saw that pitfall, that plateau, and we were like, really, bro? Because that's kind of where we're at.
Blizz, where are you guys ranking in War nowadays?
We are Gold 2.
Okay.
Gold 2 reward. We kind of go back and forth in tiers. We teeter.
What
tiers
are you in?
Oh, geez. I'd have to look. I think it's
say
we
it's
were
like
at 9.
7,
It was like 9, 10, 11
9-ish.
in between those three.
Okay.
Depending on, like, I think we were as
We
low as
teeter
8
somewhere
at one
between
point.
like 8 and 9, sometimes
Yeah.
7.
Yeah, and then we'll go. I think we
Okay.
went up to. Am I thinking of Beardo? Am I thinking of when we tanked that off season before we switched over? I think that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, because we're like 7, 8, 9.
Take the off season, we dropped to 12.
We dropped like 5 tiers.
I forget that you can even change
Audio
your
is
war
super
rating in off
delayed.
season.
Yeah, it's nice
Yes,
not to
yeah.
worry about.
Yeah,
War
it's
rating
you can really use it as a nice little booster going into season if you do it right. For the tiers that are above 5 anyway.
Right.
But yeah,
I feel like they've just
gold
turned into the anti-Oprah over it. You get nothing, and you get nothing, and everybody gets nothing.
It's like the emo Oprah. Is that what you're trying to say? Because that's a really funny thought. Really emo Oprah.
That's a good point. Like, I mean, yeah, the better rewards are at the top, but the problem with that logic is that the same alliances are going to remain at the top, getting those rewards and just continuing to grow way faster than everyone else if they're getting a quarter of a T5CC every season, and everyone else is getting nothing.
They spend.
Right, and they're
already
also the
bet
biggest
so
spenders.
much.
They don't need that right now.
Yeah, it would be nice to see like Platinum 4, Platinum 3 to be getting the equivalent of like a quarter of a T5CC or something in there, because if you're thinking like a war season is like a month basically, that means it would take us theoretically, if you were to pull all of the same T5CC from those 2% crystals or whatever they give you, if they gave you 25%, it would take us a year to get one rank 3 6-star at that point, whereas they're getting like one every 2 months or something like that, plus whatever they get from.
Right.
So it's an impossible. Obviously,
So,
we
like,
already
to
know nobody's
me-
catching up to anyone, but
To me, this mirrors the same problem that I have with the map, where if you can't complete a map, then a lot of people won't even bother doing it in the first place. But if you're not even going to come close to platinum rewards, and there's a huge plateau that you have to make for those rewards to be worth AW, then why am I trying so hard in AW? Why don't we just push all of our resources towards map 6, map 7, AQ?
And that's the other thing is, like, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that war rewards were always supposed to be focused more on shards, and AQ was supposed to be focused more on resources.
Yeah.
Correct.
Granted, we haven't seen what they have planned for AQ, but I mean, these shards are really not much, considering you're putting a month of your life into
a
war.
Like, for us, it would be a half.
I'd be totally good with that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. A half of a 6
When you get such few shards, you get crap champions out of those crystals, then you end up like me, where you're sitting on like 1,000 F6 crystals.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, what else do I got?
Sorry,
here?
just
What is that?
sorry, I had to put the dogs downstairs because it started thunderstorming out. And they
All
were
right,
about
so
to
what
go
else do we have here?
bonkers. Oh man, it's a close one. You guys almost just heard the wrath of my dogs just go nuts.
Yeah, we're about to have the storm start here too.
It's just came hard outside. Like there's lightning and everything too. You guys can ignore I said that.
New vision. All right, so we're expecting a back issues 5 Blood and Venom. That will be obviously I think everyone consensus is variants are nice and variants are fun. I'm curious speculatively what everyone thinks will be the rewards, because typically historically we've had a rank 5 gem essentially as the 100% completion rewards. I'm curious if, like, in my opinion, I feel like with the escalation of 6 stars that we're probably going to see maybe like a 6-star 1 to 2 gem type thing instead of a 5-star. At least I would hope so.
I would hope so too. I mean, that's my biggest question is, are we going to see any 6-star rank up materials, or is this still going to be focused on 5-star 3 to 4 gems and 2016 or whatever?
When 5 stars came about, and I wasn't playing the game at that time, how did progression go from 5 stars to, or from 4s to 5s, and how long did it take them to release any kind of rank up materials through questing for 5 stars? Because if they follow the same
correctly, it took forever.
Yeah, it was a slow. It was a slow.
So I would assume they're going to follow the same thing and try to suck everybody's wallet dry as much as they can before they start giving that out.
Well, yeah,
That's
but
just my
I think
thought.
the other
Because they're a
thing too,
business.
though, is we're only on R3 6 stars. It's not like max 6 stars are a thing. So
Yes.
giving a 1 to 2 gem should not be like that much to ask at this point. You know,
No,
like
For
an
them,
R2
everything
6 star
is
is
too much to ask.
well,
Yeah.
but an R5 5-star is essentially the equivalent of an R2 6-star. So if you're giving 4 to 5 gems on previous variants, I don't see any reason why you can't give a 1 to 2 gem variants going forward, when clearly R3 6-stars are abundant everywhere. But a lot of players are limited from having that due to RNG or due to, whatever, not having the units or not having the right champs to complete the content you need to get that.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I liked how variant 1 they had the gems where the rank up gem where it didn't have any gold cost. Like, I feel like that should be something that's instituted, and that would help probably relieve some of the gold stress on players. It would be much better if all those rank up gems that you get from those contents are no gold cost.
What, for
to
like
use.
100% variance? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about the 2015 or
Okay.
2016 gems that were 0
I
gold.
mean- Yeah, so like I would have
It would be
thought,
nice.
would you or wouldn't you not agree that if you gave that out as anything but 100% variance, that it would break the economy of the game?
There's the economy of the game is already broken. Like I
More.
significantly disagree
for
with
sure.
anything they say
I mean-
about not breaking it, like gold breaking the economy of the game. It's not a tradable resource. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see how, you know,
Gold's not going to break the economy whatsoever.
yeah.
I mean, like,
There's no
no. What I'm saying is more. Like, it's already fractured. Make that thing a compound. You don't want to compound the issue. The more and more that people are suffering through not having gold for rank ups, the more people are going to start asking for gold in different things. If
Yeah.
they start reviewing it like, oh, if we start rewarding gold like hand over
Well,
fist,
it's
we're gonna-
extremely
if they review
skewed
it
for
as,
those
you know,
like me who are
Yeah.
selling their ISO versus everybody else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
I sell my ISO all the time, and that's the only way I can even stay afloat half the time. Let's say that part-time player doesn't do that, especially the younger players, because they're the
But then
lower
it's
ranked,
just a
you
vicious
know?
cycle there.
So I
I
will
agree.
say that I think that let me see if I can go back here to another page.
And on top of it, like if you're not a huge whale on your crystals, you're just not going to get that gold at all.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the truth.
100%. Just reinforces the fact that if you're not a whale, you don't get as much stuff. Right.
Yeah.
Right, Peter?
I mean, and that's a good point too, because like, what about
Which
the
I mean, I
free-to-play
understand
player?
though that like if you are, it makes sense. Like you get more than everyone else, but still.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh no, I'm not denying that fact. It's just like such an overwhelming.
It's way
Like
too.
it's so. The spotlight is so huge on that. You know, it's like
I think the bigger
understand.
concern is that free-to-play players are getting left in the dust completely, and the gap is getting so big between what a free-to-play player can rank or catch up or try to get more prestige or whatever the case may be, that it's like it's getting crazy. I think for free-to-play players, it's a huge disconnect.
So I will say this in relation to the gold, and then also just the rewards. And Tommy kind of brought it up for a second there earlier. If you look at the rewards or the rewards, because there's a spelling error on it in the forum post, but the rewards for the Canadian difficulty and all the difficulties of the new side quest for next month, 600,000 gold is a pretty good amount for a side quest. So obviously, like in my opinion, looking at that, that shows that they're actually trying maybe to add some gold to some things. And then the fact that there's 3 2% T5CC crystals for a side month event, like you said earlier, Tommy, you can get more T5CC from class from a side event for 1 month than you can get for doing an entire war season of Platinum 4. Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't know what the difficulty of
That
this is
is-
going to be, but that's, and
that
even
is
beyond that,
interesting.
like half the quantity of 6-star hero shards. You know, so that seems a bit ludicrous that you get more top end rewards from a side event than you do from one of the primary alliance game modes that requires a lot more work over the course of time.
Which is why
Gerdo,
so
you were
many
gonna say
people have
something there.
stopped trying for war. Like, we're all burnt out. We don't like the rewards. We don't like the map. We don't like the way the game is going. We've just given up on it. It's going.
Right. I think that war maybe, and I hope that maybe they're taking a deeper look into it. But I really do feel like rewards doesn't necessarily even fix it. I mean, it helps. It you know, it'll numb the sting of how horrific it is, but ultimately it would be significantly better to me if they were to, completely eliminate Alliance War as it is now and change it up to something a little bit different, maybe like kind of like whatever they had intended bases to be back when bases was a thing or a concept.
Yeah, I always thought that would have been an awesome idea. How to pull it off, I don't know, but
it's been brought up before that like a raid type system would be nice. You can, it would almost be, I guess it's kind of similar to like AQ. I don't know how you would exactly design something like that, but more alliance-based events wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. Maybe eliminate, Alliance War as it is and kind of replace it with a couple of less painful game modes that you can play with your alliance kind of thing. Like bases and then raids or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, going back to the free-to-play thing really quickly, I know Chaos is a free-to-play player. I'm not necessarily completely a free-to-play player. I do the sigil, but that's about it. So, and then you have Beardo, which is obviously not a free-to-play player, but we're gonna leave it alone. And the disparity between the difference.
Tired.
Like you can see the difference between the crazy. No, he's not, Tommy. He's not. You didn't know that? It's unbelievable to me how different it is. It just goes to show they reward you for doing it, but they don't. They are leaving the free-to-play player just kind of on the side of the road with nothing.
Like Nine's comment, I like Alliance War when I don't die, spend no items, and we win. Otherwise, it sucks. I fully agree. It would be great if we could win easily and coast through every war without having to spend anything. That would be amazing.
That would be. That's my ideal setup. Yep. If we all could just have that.
And I think that's that's kind of why people have leaned towards the not doing war approach, essentially, or relaxed war, even more relaxed than we are. I mean, we're like kind of a casual war alliance, I guess. We kind of just take it as it goes in Thanos, but ultimately we end up pushing if we have to in order to make sure that we maintain a specific level that we feel is where we want to be. So yeah, we did hit Platinum 3 a few times, Deckard, without having too much issue. We had that one season where we hit Platinum 2, but we were trying pretty hard, I'm pretty sure, that season. So
I remember.
Then it was worth trying.
Right. It was more worth
It was a different game. I mean, the types of champions that were released in between that was stupid. Was that pre-Void or was that post-Void?
Void was a thing then. I'm pretty sure he was relatively newer then.
I think so. Yeah, I thought.
I'm not sure if anybody saw this, but Cam actually just posted that he submitted something to and
he cut out after and.
They killed it.
They're taking to.
I'd be interested to hear what that feedback is. Short of, yeah, we're working on it. Which is all of my feedback for all of time. Yeah, we're working on it.
Right. Alright, what else we got here? Solo objectives. What do we got here? Audio dropping like crazy. I think it's Beardo specifically. I don't know if it's I don't know why. I assume that you guys can hear me and Blizz and Amanda and Agent pretty well, right?
Yeah, because let me know if I'm because if that's the case, I'll try something different.
We also have yeah, I'm good. We also have a storm going on here, so it's very possible that it's something to do with that and my internet connection trying to loop them in and then through to the OBS.
Oh, it's a good point. Actually, Thanos brings up there. He says I can hear all of them well. However, I can't identify who's who.
You're not supposed to be.
This is Blizz. So if it's me, then I'll.
Yeah. If you don't know
Let me
whose
drop.
voice is whose, then that's your problem. not
In
our
the
problem.
agent voice, the light up with green.
Yeah, there. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. Spodrific says I was broken up, so I exited and came back in.
I'm going to try to turn down. I think they might be clipping as well. And that could be part of what's causing it because I was hitting into the red on my OBS. I didn't really notice that until just now. So Winter's on. She's been talking.
I have been talking.
You just, again, it's the whole you don't know what
You
she
know how
sounds
the
like.
Canadians feel about the maple syrup and the poutine? That's good.
I'm excited about the maple
I
syrup.
don't know how they
routine.
feel about it.
It's kind of similar. It's like borderline, I don't want to call it racist because that's not the right term.
Watch out.
What? So
Yeah, easy
That's
now.
the word. Look out.
I don't. I said I don't want to call it that. I can't think of the right word. Yeah, they're a Canadian company. And
Don't
they just
use
went,
that
like,
word. That's a
totally
Red.
stereotypical. Yeah.
yeah.
Very stereotypical.
But
It's awesome.
I'm excited about not
It's
the way they decided to name them, but the fact that they brought back those. I imagine they're a beefier version of a potion, similar to how they had with the love potions from the whatever Deadpool event thing that happened.
They need to make that a more of a.
Those
a
potions
thing.
were awesome.
They need to make that more of a thing. Those kind of game modes are awesome. It's like halls of healing, things, gold rush, all that stuff. Boss, whatever. I wish those would just be a mainstay thing, like almost like a rotating schedule. That would be great. If I could be like, I need to get some potions and I don't have anything, to get them. I could say, okay, in 2 weeks I have.
Actually, one of the biggest issues with this game is you can't properly farm in a dedicated space.
Darn right. Well said.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you
We
rather
still on the
have
back.
those types of quests every month, or would you rather have something like the hotel modes, or maybe a rotation of both?
I hate the Hotel Modoc.
What don't you like about Hotel Modoc? I guess that's a better another question.
I don't know. It comes back every once in a while, and it feels repetitive. It feels like the rewards aren't worth it. I have no interest in it. I've done it maybe twice.
Same. It's too grindy for what you get.
Yeah.
Do like a pathetic amount of shards, and that's it.
Yeah, it is a lot of work for not a lot of payoff,
It's
honestly.
a lot of work.
I do like the idea of,
Yeah, it's
the choose your
definitely a lot of
rewards. Like they give you the gold coins and then you can choose kind of what you want from your crystals, or not crystals. You can choose what you want as your reward essentially, but I think that's preferable to set limits. I also did like the kind of way that they did the mutant, the Sorcerer Supreme versus Storm Pyramid X deal where you choose a side and then you go from there, kind of thing, based off of what kind of rewards that you want, if you want rank up or crystal shards, etc. So I think that would be a better, monthly thing.
Yeah, I liked that.
That one too.
All right. What else
Still
we
like
got?
them to go back and fix potions in this game, and not just the new ones that you can buy with the units, but the Alliance level 1 revives are a complete rip-off. The ones
my
you get from the
gosh.
Glory
Yeah.
Store are a complete
Yeah, tell me about
rip-off.
it.
They
Yeah, I haven't
barely
even
heal
been-
your chain.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at even buying one of them. Never. It's not even an
Absolutely
option.
just a way for them to get money.
Yeah.
With the unit.
Just
Absolutely
copy,
more than
you
one
said-
potion.
You called that, I don't remember if it was DM or not, to me. And you were like, saw that. Like, that's the first, like, as soon as that came out, like, oh, really? Or that's where we're going?
Wait, what are you referring to? Sorry, I'm messing with my stream, so I might have
no.
missed.
Oh, the potions, the new potions.
Oh, the new potions with the I was I probably had a few rants in specifically our Thanos chats when they did the whole adjustment to the health potions, because I was pretty displeased with their decision to go ahead and buff potions but make it unit based only. It's just absurd. I mean, you're talking like the health pools are so much higher now than they were when those potions had originally been created in the Glory Store, and now you're having to drop like an entire season's worth of glory, or an entire AQ series worth of glory, into healing up a champ one time, basically, for war. You're using 10 potions, and it's crazy.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy.
Or spend a bunch of money and buy those really nice ones for $100
How
a piece.
many does it take for you to fully heal up a chain?
So I haven't fully healed in R3, but I have Torch at R2, and I fully healed him in one war. Fully healed him one time. I was boosted. Fully healed him one time, and then healed him from about 20% to full, and it cost all 15.
My God.
And I was
Oh,
using
God.
like level 4 potions.
Nope. That's the. I just refuse. That's like so much. Like, I guess if you're going for Platinum 3,
Nah,
But
it's like
if
Platinum
you're
1
going for
Masters, people.
Gold 2, if you're going for Gold 2, like we're, Gold 2, Gold 1, and that huge plateaus, I'm not doing that. That's, and I would advise my right now.
Well, yeah.
Don't do that, please.
Crazy.
But good Lord.
You can still free Jimbo and Slice. You can still free to play. It's just grindy. Yes. So there are two options. I don't always item out Tommy, first off, but there are two options. You can either make MCOC your full-time job, like Brian Grant does, basically, and just grind 8 hours a day, or you could just have a real job and hopefully you make a lot of money, and then you can buy everything. So
There's one person here.
or you can rack up insane amounts of debt on credit cards, which is also an option. And then just hope
insane.
that the apocalypse comes, and then you never have to make good on any of those credit card payments that you made.
Yeah.
I didn't
Keep
call you
wishing
out.
on apocalypse.
Just
Just keep
It's
hoping on that
crazy.
apocalypse. Just nuclear apocalypse. Don't worry.
I know it's coming any day now. We for sure are in end times.
I mean, shoot, there's going to be a Sahara Desert sandstorm this weekend in Michigan, so, you know, if that's not a sign of the apocalypse, then...
2020 apocalypse thing that on your...
When there's a desert sandstorm in a swampland. Chapter 13 from MCOC. Yeah, Chapter 13. That's what you do, you know? I mean... I'm kind of sad that back in the day, I didn't even know about the whole thing where you could just buy whatever you wanted and then, like, ask for a refund from Apple, and then they would just give you your money back and you got to keep the stuff too. Like, how come that wasn't common knowledge back then? That was, like, the top 1% just, like, committing fraud, and nobody else even knew that they could do that.
9 said that'll be the worst thing to happen. Like, that'll be the worst thing to happen to Detroit.
Like that, yeah. No, probably not. I like first sign of the apocalypse. Coffee is the new leader. It's true. It's happening. Heard of the 4 horsemen? I'm horseman number 1, buddy.
Good Lord. Just stop, please.
You guys will be fine.
Yeah, we'll be.
Eventually.
We have hard hats.
Sure, they'll end up okay.
That'll protect.
If our alliance is to fail right now, it's not going to be my fault that it fails right now. It's going to be Kabam's fault because of the state of their game. Okay? You can't blame me for the state of the game.
Here's a classic. You guys talk about what is it? Blizz being blizzed. That's being coffeed. Let's just blame the game.
Yeah. I don't accept blame.
The people on here might
defer
not
to
even know what I'm
Kabam.
talking about, but you know what I mean.
It's not my fault that they make bad decisions. I've had good. Ultimately, I'm excited to see what's in the rest of the roadmap, because, like, right now, it's been pretty anticlimactic. I want to say there hasn't been a ton of amazing information. Everything that we've gotten so far, and we haven't gotten a lot so far. We're only 25% of the way through. Has been pretty much what we already knew. Like, they just gave us a bunch of, like, regurgitated information. So
I think we got some good information on the quests that are coming, unless I just, like, missed a bunch of announcements leading up to that.
Okay, so maybe they had the prelude, right? And in the prelude, they basically had all the same information, in my opinion, as what they had in the in-depth announcement. Right? Maybe I'm being too critical.
Well, I mean, you've been pretty good about not being critical to Kabam.
Well, to be fair, I didn't read
I'd agree. I mean, it wasn't
so
really
that could be...
much news.
So the prelude, like, when they announced that, we're like, oh, this is what you're expecting to see from the actual announcements when the time comes. Kind of went over all of the things that are in here, and I mean, obviously it would, because it's the Cliff Notes version of the actual announcements themselves, but you kind of expect there to be more details when you actually get the real announcement, and it just seems like there's a lot of fluff and explanations of things, which is fine, and it's good to know explanations of things, but I was expecting more specific information from the actual announcement than what we got.
Oh, so when they brought it out and it was just a broad brush, you wanted detail, and they kind of just went over it with a real broad.
Yeah, I mean, you got pretty much, like, to me, that you got the same amount of information as, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's stuff in here that we didn't know about that is nice.
Yeah, soundtrack. Soundtrack. Woo. No, it's not enough.
Yeah, the most important part.
Yeah,
The
nobody
most
cares about the
important thing,
soundtrack.
and also the one that nobody wants to even talk about, because who really about the soundtrack? But they made it a point of emphasis.
I do like the whole,
Something
like,
really hard.
paths being scaled by difficulty, where they tell you, I mean, I guess to a degree, what one person finds to be easy and another person finds to be easy may be two different things. You know,
Yeah.
depending
Oh, yeah.
on your play style. The hardest path for me, if my play style is more suited to dealing with that type of a path, might not be as difficult as something that is, you know, quote unquote easier. So, but it will be nice for especially newer players when they're working up to those contents to be like, oh, I should take this easy path, because I'm sure that there's been many times where newer players have gone into, you know, they finish Act 4 or whatever and everything's pretty straightforward, and then you go into Act 5 and it's like, what the heck is this stuff? Like, all these nodes are like a night and day difference. Basically, that's where the
Yeah.
difficulty starts to ramp up.
It's a culture shock.
Right,
in a
and
way.
then
It's like,
Act 6 is even more so.
Yeah.
So it would be nice for those players who don't delve out into YouTube and don't have, you know, alliances and a family of people to help them with information like we do, to be like, oh, maybe I should try this path. Because you may be like, I'm going to go into Act 6 and I'm going to try to do a path, and then you start, you know, trying to go through the wrong path, and you're like, never mind, this is way too hard, just give up on that entirely. So that'll be nice. And then the whole, like, there was some mention, I don't know where it was in here, but there was some mention of champ swapping, similar to the incursions, which that might be pretty cool. I don't know how they necessarily plan to incorporate that exactly, but that would be nice.
Yeah, that's one of the things in Expedition. That is cool. You can
Expeditions.
swap the champions in and out.
Expedition.
He always calls it
That's-
expeditions.
I had, like, at one point 7 different ways to say excursions,
At least.
expeditions. I just kept saying
Excursions was my favorite.
Expeditions,
Yes,
excursions.
expeditions, excursions, incisions.
Bobby calls them insurgents.
Insurgents. I love that. I'm stealing that. That's a cool feature. Actually, that's a really cool feature in that. That's one of my favorite new things. Is that mode.
Yeah, somebody mentioned in a stream I was watching that they were like, wouldn't it be cool if you took Alliance War and basically made it like an incursion? Where, like, as you go through your path, you hit little nodes and you can get, you know, random buffs that can help you through the rest of your paths, and, you know, you could choose to heal maybe or revive a champ, and then, like, completely eliminate alliance-based
Screw
potions and
expeditions.
stuff like that.
Sean.
Wouldn't that be so much better? Like, I feel like that would be an excellent way to go for them.
That's too nice. Kabam would never do that. It's too much fun.
Yeah,
Not enough resources.
I agree.
It's not war unless you cry at one point.
And that's very true.
Yeah. But Brian Grant said it like a long time ago. He would prefer to, like, completely eliminate potions and item use, like, entirely from Alliance War. Give people, like, a pool of items that they can use every war, and then, like, that's it. And, like, I wouldn't mind doing, like, you know, they could easily do that in the way that Incursions works. You know, the same kind of concept, and that would be it would be nice. So I'm interested to see what they do, where they go, because obviously they've got a lot of bad feedback, and they're they're going to do something. It's impressive that it takes them, three weeks to come out with something that has almost no information in it, but they're going to, over a weekend in 4 days, completely take a total 360 a 180 and change their entire Alliance War map and plan.
You said that
so
in your last live vid. You said that exact same thing. You were like, it took them how long to come up with this roadmap, and now that somebody basically gave them, like, they just slapped it right back at them, slapped it back down on their desk like, this is garbage. Redo it. I want it on my desk by Monday.
Right.
It's Friday night.
And to that point,
we can do it.
I said way back when they first announced the whole roadmap and all that stuff, like, oh, we're going to do this. And then it took them like forever, it seemed, to say anything. That the longer they went without saying anything, the higher the expectations became. And then because they didn't have enough currently in there, it just made it all that much worse. So, like, if they would have put out this roadmap announcement that they've already put out, like the week after all the backlash, that would have been, nobody would have, blinked. They would have been like, oh, that's really nice, whatever. And then they could have said, you know what, we're going to continue improving on it. And then everybody would have been fine with that, I think, because it had only been a week. So, like, how much, you can't expect too much after a week. But when you go a month, the expectation is much higher. So it's that whole PR thing, you want to control the conversation, and they went a long time without controlling the conversation.
Do they have a PR firm?
Probably
because
not.
They should hire one.
Should hire an editor for their post.
They should also hire a publicist.
A musician to create more background music.
Lord.
Proofreader. Somebody to proofread their announcements so that it doesn't have things like rewards in it.
Maybe just autocorrect. If you're driving, if you're a Kabam person and you're driving in your car and you're making up these things as like a talk to text, maybe just hit enter. Maybe that's what's happening. I hope not.
I'm also interested.
So you should never be doing randoms in the first place. It's not.
Oh yeah, don't do randoms. That's a bad idea.
No.
Don't know where they've been.
You don't know where randoms have been. No.
Title ever sex tape. Randoms is horrible. Yeah. So what else do we got to talk about? What else did I say in the stream? We've obviously touched on Alliance War a lot. I think we've touched on some questing stuff here. Was there something else? Was there any other? Did anybody have any questions for anyone in the stream? I know we've been. Well, quality of life's going to be part 4.
The quality thing, is that in here? I think that's in there, right? We kind of glanced over it a bit.
We haven't. I don't think we've gotten to the quality of life.
Quality of life and future of the content is the last portion of the announcements, and that will be like July 1st, probably July.
Oh, that's right.
Probably like July 3rd now.
I mean, realistically, yeah. I'm looking at the next announcement. Our Monday talk should be interesting, because unless they push it back even further.
Well, they pushed back. I mean, at least they insinuated at pushing back everything a few days.
Yeah. Whenever our next talk is, whenever our next session here.
So
that's going to be an interesting one.
Who mentioned this here? My July 4th predictions, Captain Too Good. Hey Beardo, you still around? Is he here?
He will be spending.
No
Prediction.
way.
Where is he at?
No
Is he
way.
here?
I couldn't imagine.
Beardo?
We were just talking about this in general. I don't think that the like fake leak that came out was too far off from what we'll see, honestly. I mean,
I don't like regular edibles, even though the smell that it gives.
Yeah, I imagine that's
They'll
probably
make it
correct.
good enough for people to spend. They always do.
What
Well,
was the
I
leak?
mean,
Be
the
completely
thing I
worth
was
it.
thinking about was on Cyber Weekend, this past one that we just had. We got so many Sig Stones. We got so many Tier 2 Alpha. I think that we'll get a lot of those things people are looking for, and I think the higher dollar deals will be more targeted for 6-star.
Oops, what did I do? That was weird.
I
Can
hope
everybody
so.
still hear me?
I mean,
What did I do? Oopsies! I broke the everything. Hello. Sorry,
there you go.
I broke it.
I just sat and waited.
Oops. My bad.
It's the rain, I tell you.
Nah, yeah, it was my fault. I was trying to do something. I was trying to find the leak.
Crispy, I think the leak was for the 15,000 unit offered, as I think one of them was targeted for 6-star Awakening and Sig Stones, and the other was for class Tier 5 CC.
I think it was,
remember,
yeah.
right?
I want to say the Odin was.
Spod.
Oh gosh, I don't remember it. Yeah, it was basically like a T5cc, I think, something like that.
I don't think the
or maybe like
money
half of
offers
it.
were that close. They seemed a little generous, but I think that the unit deals are probably going to be similar to what we saw on that week.
Right, you either choose. It was basically what, like, you either choose a rank up crystal, or shoot, I don't remember now. Oh yeah, Nexus.
Yeah. Nexus. Yeah, I was just about to say it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. I don't know. I think that if they don't do a pretty good job of getting all of the roadmap stuff out, their 4th of July profits will suffer for it. If people have to wait until after 4th of July to get all of that, that's going to be problematic. It's interesting that they would be pushing it back.
I wonder if they feel that way.
Yeah, and they might be. They may very well be feeling under the gun to get everything together before that, because if they have a good, even if like parts 1, 2, and 3 are kind of like meh, okay, whatever, it's kind of what we expected. If they have a really good showing from that 4th announcement, like right before 4th of July, that could very easily, redeem it entirely. And, because everybody is going to be focused on the most recent news and not everything else from the week prior to it. So,
Yeah,
absolutely.
What have you done for me lately and all that. So,
That's the world we live in. It's not just this game.
Isn't that the truth?
yeah.
100%.
Solo objectives that contain 4 and 5 stars. On that point, I'm hoping to see. I think it was Mad Titan earlier had mentioned that they need to basically do a full rework, in his opinion, of the current reward events for solo events, and then like the 1-day alliance events and all that. And I think that's one place that you'll see them go.
I think they addressed that on one of Dorky's interviews with the developers. I think they talked about how they're working towards changing that.
Right.
And that's where the new objective things came from.
Right. And then they wanted to, the objectives were essentially going to replace those entirely, but they didn't want to eliminate them initially. So they're going to kind of phase them out, is I believe what they had stated. And so they're going to solo objectives is the wave of the future, and then those events will kind of just go away eventually at some point. But yeah, so you see next month's solo objectives are going to have 5-star shards, gold, and 4 and 5-star signature stones. How many and what those exactly look like, we'll have to wait and see, but it's a step in the right direction at least. So, because those free-to-play players, they need their sig stones, and you can't get them.
Yeah, you're telling me, dude.
What, like, I think the most you can get is like 10 a month typically, unless there's a side event, so maybe like 26 stones a month kind of thing for a 5-star, and
That's all random.
And they're all random.
It's
usually.
not like they're not generics. Right. They're all just 6-stone crystals. So it's like, in a very Kabam-like fashion, I need, mystics and skills, and I'll get techs, all of them. Like really?
Well, from looking at this quest, and I know that it was mentioned that this is similar to the Mole Man quest. 8-path, 8-path, 12-path, 12-path. I don't know how long each of these paths are. Hopefully they're on the shorter end. I don't think they mentioned that anywhere. But it looks like about 1 million gold. We got here how many 5-star shards? 5, 7. Almost 3 whole 5 stars. Tier 5 basic, like quarter of a T5B. Legendary crystal that will give you a 4-star.
Yeah, Tommy, if you really look close, Tommy says you're doing some math. If you really look close at his face when he's doing it, you can see the hamster in his. If you look, the hamster's really going.
It's not a hamster.
Right through his eyes. His hamster.
How rude.
If that is rude, good lord. They don't know.
Is it Tommy or Tommy? I guess now I'm not sure because he keeps saying Tommy.
Tommy.
But I've always pronounced it.
Tommy.
I've always pronounced it.
He already said it was
Tommy,
like homie.
That's what I
Tommy,
thought. I've always said Tommy as well.
I
win.
I don't know. I don't really care.
Well, as we know, you don't care about pronouncing things right.
I do not pronounce things correctly.
Speaking of which, how do you pronounce the leader of Supergiant? How do you pronounce the leader of Supergiant? How do you pronounce her name?
Kooky.
Kooky, yeah, that's not right.
Kooky. It's Kooky.
Guys, it's Grandpa.
Grandpa's here.
Hey. No, it's no, it's no.
You walked into Bricks. You walked into the end of, or maybe not the end of, but at this point, I think everyone's kind of slap happy to a degree, and we've talked about most things. So now we're just
I'd like
ranting.
to see what everyone's thoughts are. What do you guys want to see as far as AQ changes?
Oh, that's a good question.
Uh-oh.
I can tell you what I want.
That's a good question.
I'll wait for everybody else, though.
It brings up the timers. I have to agree. Prefer them to be shorter.
Oh, shorter energy timers?
So, yeah, you can either do shorter energy energy refill, 30-minute timer type thing, or a larger pool of energy. You could also start people with more energy.
Just start them off with 5. Never
You
understood
want
why
me to
we
move an
didn't.
AQ?
It's dumb.
Sorry, I'm streaming. I forgot about AQ.
Yeah. I mean, that was my point with making a larger energy pool is like, I feel like it eliminates a little bit of a sense of urgency. Like, when I know that I'm near 5 energy, I know I need to move. You know what I mean? Like, say we had like 7 or 10 energy, I feel like it would just eliminate a lot of urgency that people have, especially if they don't care as much about holding others up.
Right.
Yeah, I agree to that.
I think personally I prefer
Adversely,
just eliminate links entirely.
eliminating
less links.
is what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah, but they would
Less
never
link
do
building.
that.
Well, it's never about making it easier on us.
You could also
And that's the truth.
right. You could also
It's never
very
about that.
easily eliminate paths. So instead of having, and I think that's a big pain point for a lot of Map 7 and even Map 6 alliances, where it's like if you have a person on vacation and you have to commit to people doing 10-hole paths, you basically have to break the terms of service, because like what else are you going to do, unless you remove someone from the alliance or swap somebody in or out, which is unrealistic because it's already so much work just to like maintain a group of people and all the planning that goes into it. You can't just like, all right, we'll just swap this person out for that person, because it's not really that simple. So it would be better if it was like 6 or 7 paths. I wouldn't even mind if there was, I don't want to say more links, but an equal amount of links as currently, and then less paths. I'm getting called out for not moving here.
I always thought that
It says to unlink.
I always thought of a cool idea to where if you had 3 BGs doing AQ, and 2 of those BGs finished to 100%, and one was waiting on somebody, God forbid something happened bad to them, or they haven't been logged in for a while, I always thought it would be cool for
Joining?
or they just didn't feel like joining, or they dropped out, or they got kicked, or they were belligerent, and, whatever. And somebody from another BG that's finished under that BG,
Yeah,
and
that's
finish
a cool
that.
idea.
That would be sweet, because then that would make you have a sense of urgency to finish your map and log on. Therefore, it's like just in case. But then at the same time, one BG just get lazy or complacent. So it's food for thought, I guess. But that would be a cool feature.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm moving in AQ right now because I'm getting called out by multiple people in chat here. So
On your own live stream.
On your online stream. Oh boy.
I'm kind of busy here, guys. Can't you see that I'm a little busy? Goodness gracious.
Busy moving AQ.
Quote unquote busy.
I think I'm at 4 energy right now. So
Hold on, let me tag someone here. The very uncommon art of tagging people when you clear them.
Oh, yeah. That seems to be a dying art here lately. For the love of God, can you just tell me when I've been unlinked for 4 hours?
Thumbs don't work anymore.
No, they don't. They're just not it's not possible. I think I sat on one node for like 3 hours a couple weeks ago.
Believe
And
it.
I didn't know. And they're like, "Are you ever gonna move?" I'm like, "Did you ever tag me?" No, you didn't. So
Back to the days of helicopter parenting, where you have to tag multiple people and let them know that they're clear, even though you're not the one that cleared them.
yes.
Yeah, I do that a lot. I'm being
Yeah.
called out
Bye.
for not tagging now, I think.
Don't.
Rude.
That's our plight as being leaders or officers. It's our job to do that. You signed it. You signed that thing.
It's part of
I
the
know, it's a
unwritten
contract
rule
or
of
something, right?
management.
Was forced to sign that. I never actually wanted to be leader 3 years ago. Here I am.
It's not how
You took it ever so graciously.
Ever sorry.
that's not how J. Paul tells the story. He said you
Enjoy
kicked
the
him
next
out.
3 years coffee. You're gonna love it.
He's gonna be completely gray instead of just moderately gray.
Yeah, AQ is tough at this level because you need responsible players who can police themselves. That is correct. The interesting thing is that you would think to a degree that that we're the majority of people, but we're really not. I mean, the people in the top, 2,000 alliances is probably a very small portion of the total player base in reality. There's probably a lot of casual players out there in those, that pick up the game once a day to move like one time, and like that's the extent of their playing. I think that we're collectively, everyone in the family is pretty hardcore in terms of how often they play the game. Leader sucks. That's why I gave it to Coffee. He deserved it. That's rude. That's rude.
Just think about it, J-Ball. You gave away leadership, and he's talking about racist crap on here. And
I did not.
What
I
kind of a
couldn't
leader
think of the right word.
does that? What kind of?
I wasn't the one that had
He
this.
insulted Canadians.
I wasn't
Someone's
the
gonna
one.
come after him now.
I wasn't perpetuating
I'll drive right over there. If you want to
stereotypes.
see a fight
That was
on live?
Kabam.
Let's go.
Kabam's the one perpetuating Canadian stereotypes, okay? Not me.
That's hilarious.
And I mean, I guess they're allowed to because, they're Canadian. So that's like a rule,
Yeah, free
right?
healthcare. Less stressed up here.
I'm not an ally killer. How dare you? I've never... I've never killed an ally yet. Technically. If anything, I've kind of created
It's not
multiple
just your
allies.
alliance now, we're a family.
I know,
Got
right?
the family.
Yeah,
Got the children.
You're the flagship leader.
J-Paul
The
created
family.
J-Paul was the one that created the family, and then he just, bails on us all in our time of need. Technically, I've never killed an ally. Ryson, when we all left, was still there. It's not my fault that they failed after the 10 of us left.
Alright.
There was 20 people left in that alliance when we left. It's not my fault that none of them wanted to do any work. Anyways. Can't blame me for that. Can't blame me. Anyone that was there would know. Anyways. Alright. So do we have anything else we want to touch on? Did anyone else have any questions in the stream that we missed? I don't know if I want to scroll back through everything, but I'm sure there was somebody that asked a question at some point.
There was a ton of questions that we glanced over and a ton of stuff,
We were talking about AQ changes that we want to see.
Yeah, AQ changes we want to see. I brought up the helping out another BG from Finnish BGs to see that.
What else do we got? What else do I got AQ wise?
Okay.
Yeah, less paths. Potentially, I would prefer shorter timers, but
Yeah, shorter timers and
Less
less breaks.
less variate. Okay, so here's one thing. As an officer of an alliance who runs Map 7, the amount of planning that has to go into multiple versions of a map with multiple different paths, node combinations, it's absurd. Like, it's so much planning. It's craziness. And then beyond that, to then start adding them to map 6 is just like, I was very unhappy when they added that third variation, or I guess ultimately it's a second variation, but that the extra variation of map 6, because it's a lot of planning and things that go into making a plan, making that for an alliance, and to just like willy-nilly just be like, oh, we're just gonna add a variation because we want to. Okay, there's
definitely put a lot
hours
of
of my
pressure on
life.
us.
Yeah. So.
I mean, they put a lot of pressure on us to try to get. I mean, could you imagine having to use their in-game chat?
Ew.
Sounds
Oh
like
my
they're gonna
Lord,
try to
no
enhance
goodness.
the in-game chat is what part of one
Almost
of the.
as
yeah,
bad as
sure.
using line.
Yeah.
They do hate officers.
It would also
I
be
mean-
nice if the game had a better notification system of. I don't know if maybe it's just the way my phone works, but it just says that like I just get an alert that says like Marvel Contest of Champions. I don't know what it's for, like something. So it would be nice if they had better push notifications if they're going to attempt to make it where they want you to be using an in-game communication system. I do like the idea.
I don't even have mine turned on, and have been turned off for
No,
years.
mine's been turned off for at least.
Yeah, mine's off too.
Oh, I'm
No,
the only
fine.
one. I'm the only one that has
Yeah.
in-game notifications turned on. Well, obviously, you guys are all right in that you shouldn't even bother to have them on, because when it pops up on my screen, it just says, you're needed in the game, and it's like, okay, for what? A little bit more information would be great.
From now on, everybody in Thanos should just tag you. You're needed.
Right.
Ready to
Kabam
go.
should send you an announcement that your node is clear. If CHQ can figure it out, then it's possible. Correct. That would be great if you could get a game notification stating like you've been unlinked in AQ.
Yeah.
Then we wouldn't have to tag people.
What?
Too fancy for
Correct me if
them.
I'm wrong. Coffee. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't there a thing not too long ago that we turned off all of the notifications to help with load times? Wasn't that a thing?
No. So what you're thinking of is turning off the in-game chat because it took up
Yeah.
bandwidth that the game was trying to utilize, and
That's right.
if you turn off the in-game chat, it made the game less choppy. I'm not sure that that's still a thing or not, but I haven't had world chat on in years, I don't think.
Nudges from BG members. Like pokes, like from like Facebook Messenger or whatever.
That would be
Guys,
interesting.
I'm gonna head out,
Okay.
but have a great evening. Thanks for having me on,
Thanks for coming.
and
Thanks for
I'll
stopping
talk
by.
to you soon.
We'll see you next time.
Don't be a stranger.
I will not. You know that.
Beardo dropped. Bye,
Yeah,
Beardo.
Beardo said that he baby's crying and whatnot.
There he is. Yeah, I'll be up till 2 again. The baby has started screaming. We've all been there, my man. Well, I don't know about all, but I know I've been there, and that's super fun to deal with. Especially like I think one of mine was basically like John staying creepy at the same time. So I was like, oh, this is the worst baby.
All right, Spud, have a good night. What else we got going on here? I don't think I have really a whole lot else to go over. I
we
mean,
touched
I'm
on a
excited
lot.
about Map 6 changes being implemented. I wish that they would have stated a date, because as far as I know, they didn't, unless I missed
Yeah,
it
how
somewhere.
about the
but
Map 5 AI thing?
I don't know if that, they didn't again, they didn't really mention a date or anything on that either.
That
Maybe
is
they
awesome.
will when they do the AQ portion of
the announcements. Yeah, that's
Right.
that's what I want to see. That and the arena thing, where they're going to change the AI or the gameplay in general of the arena. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they come up with for that.
right.
I
That
heard
is,
anything about that one.
yeah,
I am most
That's
excited for the quality of life, the part 4 of the
Yeah.
roadmap.
I think that I was talking to you earlier via DM, personal messages, and of all the videos and the feedback that I've received, they be talking about AQ and AW the most, but I'm the most eager to hear about this quality of life situations where, like, what does that mean to them? It could mean totally different to them than it does to me, because I know quality of life to me is not having to play the game for 7.5 hours a day.
Yeah, it would be nice. Like I said, help all button. I would just eliminate help entirely. Like, what's the point?
What is the point of that? Just give me is just to get 1,000
7,000 loyalty a week. Can't they just like?
Whoop-de-doo, baby. And then the cost of that loyalty gem, which is a farce, 1,000. So it's like, oh,
Well, there's nothing of value in there anymore.
No, not for us, but maybe for somebody that's like, man, I need another 4-star champ so I can complete Act 3. No.
Have a good night, Digweed. We'll have another one.
Help all button, yeah. Help all button. If you're going to leave help, then why are we, just help all.
Help all button would be
Understood
nice.
why you had to only help so many at one time.
It's like, it occurred to me not too long after this game where I started to view the help button as like a pageant. Like, I'm going to help this guy, but not this guy, because like, it's like a popularity contest. I was like, what is that?
I actually
I
do
love
really.
it when it stops working.
Oh, that's great when it
Yeah.
stops.
Oh
working.
yeah, that happens
Just
all the
like
time.
everything else. That's real cool. That happened to me earlier today.
One
I'm
thing
like, help,
I used to love is
Nope.
Won't
When
do
else?
individual.
somebody will tag the entire alliance and be like, "Hey guys, hit the help button. I need my energy," and I'll like hit everyone's help except for that person's. Take a screenshot and be like, "All right, I hit help." Send it out.
Send it to him.
I hit help for everybody,
Put it in
but
general.
you slacker, who tagged me to hit help buttons for you. That's madness.
Oh man, I don't remember who it was, but it was back in the Domi days. I don't want to name names, but I think you know who I'm talking about. And it was, I can't believe that I'm still waiting on energy.
Oh, I know who
so
you're talking
upset.
about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm so upset about this. I can't believe it. Why can't anybody get in there and just hit the help button?
No, we have like an option to do it, but we just have voice going.
So Deckard, I will say that after that, I did hit the help button for them, but I did it just for the amusement of
Yeah.
posting a screenshot of having hit help for everyone but that person.
I hit help for everything is just one guy that needs energy, and they're just like, click. Love that. It's really
Tommy hit the help button for Tommy. All right, hold on, buddy.
Well, no one can help you. We're all very busy chatting right now.
We're busy. We're all
Back
very busy
again later.
planning lanes and AQ because they don't make it user friendly.
Tag all of Obsidian to hit the help button for you. How's that?
Yeah, Tommy, don't worry.
Took the option
Everyone
out.
from Obsidian, Maw, and Proxima will all be hitting the help button for you in just a minute.
Yeah, I'll be right on it.
Hold on, I'll hit it for him here. Hold on.
I'll put it on my mission
See,
statement
where's-
on my thing. The help button is a must. You don't hit the help button, you get kicked.
You need energy help, Tommy? Is that what you need help with, or you want help with alliance with your champs? Let's scroll all the way down here through the 500 requests that I have for help. Obviously, everyone in Thanos has far too much time to grind arena on their hands.
I'm just going to say this Kooky just DM'd me and is berating me for saying her name wrong.
It's Kukui.
So, Kooky. I'm going to call her Kooky from now on. I know it's Kukui. I've known for months. But, I mean, I used to say it bad. I mean, I don't care.
Tony, you don't even have a request for
I thought it fit more for her personality because she's kind of whoop. But
You are just asking for trouble.
I'm not. I don't care. Not.
Hey, just imagine meeting her in person.
Oh, I know.
It was a blast.
I would love to meet her in person. She's such a funny person to talk to all the time. She makes me laugh. Cookie. It's Kukui. But I know.
It's Kukui. It's a movie or something about the boogeyman. He goes around bad children's houses, and then he shrink wraps doorways and toilets.
We did have a conversation about that one.
You guys don't want to know how I've been pronouncing her name. I think that I know now.
Right?
I'm really actually wanting to know. Jay should tell. Yeah, at least me.
I'm not going to say it on stream, and I hope nobody else says what I think that you might have been saying. But
I'd like Jay to DM me right now to tell me what he.
Yes, spell out the way that you. What else we got here?
I mean, how does everybody say my name? It's Liz, typically. But somebody called us said that it should be the way that it's pronounced in other countries is different than the way I say it. Somebody approached me on that like a couple weeks ago. It's actually Blitzkin, and I'm like, oh my god! And then my wife said, "What? You're bitchkin." I'm like, oh, okay, you can get out of here.
It's a rough life. I'm just coffee, you know.
That's what I get to do.
You pronounce coffee as Kermit.
Have you ever told them about how you came up with that name? How that name came about?
What name?
Coffee?
Coffee?
One on that. Yeah. It's actually pretty funny.
I mean, it's not really much of a story. It was just an auto-generated name for Xbox Live when it first came out.
Yep. And everybody got assigned names when Xbox Live first came out. That was it came up and it just stuck. I thought it was funny. No cookie.
Updated stemmer static. What else was there? What else was I going to talk about in this stream? Let me look at what I said here earlier. Make sure I didn't miss something.
We should save the history of how we actually came up with the family for our next chat.
The history of, like, go through the entire history of how this entire family came to be?
Just the history of how the Black Order became a family. That's a fun one.
Yeah. I've told the story. Yeah, you know what? It's interesting because I had that conversation with Jayhawk at the time, which is Bearded Gamer now. And we discussed, he was like, oh, I think he just always assumed that it was just like always a thing. But it's newer than people anticipate. And there's a lot that went into it when that kind of all happened. So there's a
lot that went into just getting me to change my alliances. That was an ordeal.
with we having
Jay.
what am I gonna say here? All of us having wives and children, I think that especially with our wives, we've come to terms with the fact that sometimes it's just better to ease into things. So we wanted to give you a lot of time and space to just kind of
Lies. Lies.
We're like, we'll just let her have her,
Lies.
just let her. It took the longest to get you to change your name than I think anyone, with the exception of the Supergiant people. We asked the Supergiant people back when they were originally trying to come in, when that whole merger with Proxima happened, and we wanted them to change their name, and they got so mad they just left.
They can't. They were like, I'm not having this.
Change our name of our alliance madness. Yeah, Proxima, they changed it like right away. That's actually what really happened, Agent, was we were like, okay, well, she doesn't want to change her name. We'll just start bringing in other alliances, and they'll start taking up other names, and then Agent will have to act before all the good names are taken. That was secret conversations between J. Paul, me, and who was it? Was it Blue at the time? And
It was
Alpha,
Blue at the time.
Alpha and Blue and everybody. We're like, okay, so how do we get Agent to change the name of her alliance? And we're like, we're just gonna need to bring in like 5 other alliances, and once she sees all of the name, like the good names getting taken, she'll react, and it worked. So it's like, oh, Proxima came in, took Proxima, and then it was like, oh man, I better take Obsidian before I'm stuck with being like Maw.
Aw.
Maz, hey, hey, man, hold on a minute, man.
Bullshit on that statement, J. Paul. Complete bullshit.
We aren't manipulative.
Was it Blue?
Wait, what are you referring to when you said, am I the exception to that coffee? Nothing's wrong with Maw. Oh, the Alliance. Yeah, the Alliance is fantastic. As far as that goes, the character from the movie and the character in general, well, Squidward is kind of weird in the movies, so the wife and child, we all apparently have that. I didn't say everyone in the alliances has wives and children. I was just referring to the people who were in that scenario. Me.
He's referring to the old men.
Yeah, I'm referring to the old people who manipulated
Old
her into
people.
changing her alliance name.
Coincidentally, I was recruiting a guy named Squidward. I was like, if this guy comes to Ma and his name is Squidward, I'm never gonna hear.
Hey, what's going on?
What? Who's that? What happened?
Is that J. Paul?
It is.
Oh, it is. What's
It's
up, J. Paul?
J. Paul got on here so that he can clarify some things about what we've been talking about, right?
No, I
Just to
I wanted
provide facts.
to see how much I can piss Winter off.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear you join the chat.
I've been in here for a while.
Oh, really? Just didn't say anything.
Been hiding in the shadows, like Bane, born.
And to clarify, no one ever makes Winter do anything she doesn't want to.
Except when I had to give up PXRD.
You didn't have to. No.
You wanted to. And you didn't give it up. Isn't it so much more enjoyable now, though?
At some point, you'll have to tell us why it was so important to keep.
It's not really a thing. I didn't want to give it up because everybody else wanted me to. I don't like being told what to do.
Got-
I didn't like certain people acting all authoritative and telling me that I had to do it.
So by certain people, do you mean Alpha?
Saying certain people.
Oh, man.
It was more than one person that wanted me to do it, and I did
Hopefully
not
not
want to do it.
me. I don't think I ever said you have to do it. I don't know. I think it was more of a, like, my thing was like, we don't want you to, like, totally give up everything that you had. It was more, we just, want to work it in so that we're all part of the same group and everyone can kind of keep their own thing, kind of like how we had with Corvus, where they had their, straight out of Glaive charges thing. They got to kind of keep an homage to their original name, and we encourage, I think even now going forward, you'll always encourage that for anyone that joins the group to not give up where they were and what they came from necessarily in order to join the family.
Yeah, it worked out really well for Glaive.
Dude.
Why you gotta come on here and, throw shade on people? It's not right. It did work out really well for them because when they came
It
in,
worked out really well for you. Didn't have to be in charge. Instead, you have to be in charge.
yeah, well, how about this? When they came in to our alliance, they weren't even running 5x5, correct? Do you remember? They were working
Successfully or trying?
They were trying to run map 5x5, and at the time, they weren't able to clear every day, and they just, I think they lacked the knowledge, and I think that's kind of the key part of the family, is that you have people who have been in the same place as you've been, in order to help you kind of get through those hurdles, learn from the mistakes of those before you and get some knowledge.
Oh, Tommy.
It's
Did you
Tommy.
just roasting them.
Who's roasting
He
what?
doesn't really.
Here to defend themselves.
You notice that? He just gives like a really good political.
Well, what Coffee doesn't know is Amanda and I have been planning this for a really long time, and both of us don't have to be leaders anymore, and now Coffee is in charge. So
It's alright.
Long con, but
I mean,
it worked.
if you really look at it, J. Paul was really just a figurehead anyways for a long time, because as far as like running the server, he hadn't been doing that in years anyways.
I never ran the server. What are you talking about?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
There were special roles created so I couldn't fuck up the server.
That is also true. He used to have admin ability, and we had to create a special role for him. Well, Alpha created a special role for him that had pretty much admin privileges, but wasn't able to kick people because we were sick of having to get people back into the alliance or back into the Discord server after his, butt dial, whatever was going on, pretty much kicked them out.
Excuse me, but I remember you having a certain accident where you kicked one of my members.
That wasn't an accident. We had to test and see what that function did or if it worked. I asked, is this going to work? And I was told, I don't know. And I said, well, let's find out. So what do? We found out it does work. Lessons learned.
Clicked at the boot.
And I apologize to that person. I don't even remember who it was now. Do you remember?
Oh, really? Don't even remember.
It was such a quick thing. It was like 1 second he was throwing racial slurs around in the server. I clicked a little button and he was gone forever, and then we brought him back in, and that was the end of that. I don't even remember who it was now.
It wasn't Swervy, was it? I'm joking. It wasn't
No.
Swervy. I hope Swervy.
It was somebody from Obsidian, so it definitely wasn't Swervy because he would never be good enough to be in.
Oh no! See, you can't. Can't say that.
I honestly don't know enough about Swervy to know if he could or could not be in any of our alliances.
I honestly feel bad for all the Australians that we have in our family because, like, the game is really not set up for their time zone at all, unless they're all in an alliance together. For those of you who don't know, Swervy's he lives in Australia, and so
I
like
still
he's
don't know who
basically
this Coffee
MIA
Breath
for
is.
all of Section 3.
Who is Coffee Breath? We need to figure this out.
Who is that?
Hey, Coffee
Tell
Breath.
the
Make sure to like the stream and
anonymous
subscribe.
Coffee Breath. I believe in.
My guess would be it's Matt.
I'm not Coffee Breath. I would have thought it would have been Ark. That was my guess.
That's too much effort for Ark.
So wait, who do you think it is?
Titan.
Titan?
Yeah,
No,
Titan.
because Titan's in. Oh, it's possible he's in here twice. That is possible. If it was
Do you think
Titan,
he just changed his name and
if it was Titan, he would have a image like like an avatar. I'm not Coffee Breath. I mean, yes, I am in the morning after I have my coffee.
what kind of coffee you going with lately?
I have a Starbucks caramel cream.
No, that's not bad.
What does that sound? Who's doing that?
No,
Sounds like somebody's like
I was
Jake
typing
Paul.
that up.
drumming on a table.
He's
Having some side conversation.
being weird in the back.
This is like drumming on a table or something. What's happening?
I have long nails, okay?
Oh, is that you
Clicks on
typing?
the keyboard. It was me typing.
Oh,
Oh.
that explains it. That makes way more sense.
That makes me less like I don't know if I want to be here.
So, J. Paul, how's vacation going?
It's good. Just the son and the wife are asleep, so just downstairs in the cabin, relax.
Where are you vacating?
Down in Branson, Missouri, in a cabin down there. So
No, bad at all.
Yeah, not bad at all. Must be nice.
Yeah. You know, anything
don't be
we're going through up here.
don't be jealous, Coffee.
Yeah, see, that's like that was like a little inside humor there. Quake doesn't count
That's
as
probably
a.
why I didn't find it humorous. Because it was
It was just for J. Paul.
not for me. Yeah, it's not for me.
It
So
was
I
just for the
left that shit.
Jasons. So, what else we got? While I'm in arena here, maybe anyone can
Well,
answer
can
to
you
this.
explain to them why you're doing 4-star arena, by the way? Are you just doing
The easiest units to time ratio
Yep.
is the 4-star basic arena, so
Yep.
that's why I do 4-star basic arena.
Once I get him, I usually get like 2 million in the 5-star. I'll get like 2 mil, and then I'll just go right back to 4-star because it's easier to farm units that way.
Yeah, because if you're grinding arena to try to get units, the quickest bang for your buck is probably the 4-star
Yeah.
basic. So I really hope that I wish they would add more arenas. Personally, I mean, we'll see what they do in the quality of life changes and stuff. But there was mention
you know
of
what? That's a good point. Actually, that's a really good point. I liked when they came out with those different gems for the 1v1. They should make that a mainstay.
Oh, where they had like
So a two-star guy.
the 2-star thing. That would be good,
so 2-star
especially.
guys from the 1v1.
But then they wouldn't be able to sell
Pretty
the
cool.
2-star crystals that they brought out when they put variant 4 out.
We'll just make it from the basic poolers, or from the don't make any of the new characters on there or something. They can figure. I believe in them. Well,
What do you guys hope to see in terms of the changes for champion acquisition?
in regards to what?
Champion, like the ability to acquire champions. It's part of the
I mean, like,
part 3. They
are you
said
gonna
they're going
break
to
it
make
down
changes
between?
to. I don't
Are
know.
you
There's
breaking it down between like acquiring champions, 4-star champions? Because I could care less.
I think you're going to see more of these Nexus crystals is what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
And everybody seems to be well receiving those Nexus crystals.
The 10 selection thing where you get to choose from a group.
That, or you'll see, you'll featured by class. Nexus is by class. I could see featured by class.
Featured by class, you think? That'd be interesting.
Well, not a feature, but it's just it'd be a specific class. They could rotate.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, well, I mean, it will be nice to see what they say to that.
They got to take 3 stars out of the really featured Grandmasters. It's silly.
Yeah, taking 3 stars out of there would be a good idea.
Wait, out of the featured Grandmaster or the featured Cavaliers?
Featured Cavs. That's
okay. I just wanted to clarify, because if you took the 3 stars out of a featured Grandmaster, you're talking about only getting a 4 or 5 star out of it. But yeah, I agree. I don't think that 3 stars should have ever been in the Cav in the first place, personally. But
yeah.
But then people would have too much ISO, and then they would have too much gold, and we don't want people to have too much gold, because then they'd just be able to actually rank up champs and complete content with those champs.
Right.
I think that. I also think they're going to change the shard rate. That'll change champ acquisition.
Wait, change? Oh, you mean increasing the availability of 5 and 6 star shards? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I think it's got to be 6 shards. It's crazy how long it takes, even at our level, to get. It's like
maybe 1 a month if you're lucky.
Yeah, it's about 1 a month. So if you're not
right.
Speaking of 6 stars, I don't know how I have 47 6 stars and only one of them is a.
Only one of them is a what?
That is hilarious.
One of them is a. So I have 47 6 stars, 46 are non-schemes.
Which one is the 6? Which one is the skill champ?
It's Squirrel Girl.
It's Squirrel Girl. Because if you
and you got her from a
Falcon,
cab, right?
my phone.
And didn't you get her from a? You got her from a cab, I think.
I'm on a hot streak with Falcon. I've gotten Falcon 8 or 6 of 8 5-star pulls have been Falcon.
They might buff Falcon at some point. I'm also curious to see what they do for the buffs.
I'm convinced. I'm convinced that accounts get locked into certain odds, certain times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Bearded Gamer, he's gotten Aegon like 746 billion times, I think now. And and like I just don't understand how one account keeps pulling the same champ, and then you look at mine and I have gotten serious like 6 times. This shouldn't even how the chances of that are crazy because of how many champs there are in it.
I can beat that. I pulled featured 5 stars, Thor, Jane Foster.
Oh.
I got discouraged and opened a regular 5-star. It was also Thor, Jane Foster.
And I threw my phone through my window, and $240 later for me. That's crazy. It's funny to me because like I'll be playing 5-star arena and like, oh man, I gotta actually look for Falcon because his SIG is so high. He's only a rank 1 champ, but he's way up there with he's like way up there with the rank 3s and stuff. I'm like, I gotta get him. Should just R4 for the prestige.
It is my bedtime.
Yeah.
You're like 2 hours ago. What are you talking
And
about?
She just woke up. She just
woke up to do this, and now it's time to go back to bed.
You woke up to do this. My
She
goodness.
needs to go knit and put on a shawl, and then
Do you think I wasn't knitting while we were doing this?
that's what the tapping was. It wasn't actually a keyboard. It was knitting.
It was knitting. That makes sense.
Do you seriously?
Do seriously knit?
Oh wow, my wife does, and it's like an obsession.
It's relaxing.
It's a skill, man. Not a lot of people can
I wouldn't
seriously
be able to do it.
Needles are a nice
I can't.
weapon too.
Those needles, yeah, those big ones. They have some crazy looking. Going to Joanne Fabrics, and they're like, "What are those for?" I don't even know what that.
Yeah, Blender can knit. If not, I haven't ever received any socks or
We'll exchange them for baked goods because we all know you can bake. Not that we've ever received any from you.
I'm sorry you didn't get those packages. I don't know what happened. I shouldn't have sent them the U.S. Postal Service.
Did you put fragile on them? Or?
Fragile.
Put
They probably get eaten 100%.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Yeah, I'm about to be bouncing out myself, so appreciate everybody for stopping by. It was a pleasure to do this. We will have another one of these, and I don't know if Mr. J. Paul himself will be available for the entirety of the next one, but July 1st, and then also we're going to, I'll be announcing it on the channel that we will be doing we'll be doing an extra portion of this on the 29th because they're going to have the second part of it then, I believe. So the Alliances portion on July 29th, and then hopefully July 1st, 2nd, 3rd, they'll have the last portions, Champions and Quality of Life. So
yeah, and then like you said, to open the summit, this could and probably should be something we do not on a regular basis, but more often for sure.
yeah, we could definitely I mean,
schedules and
there's a lot of different things we could do with it, so
on the 1st, I should be available. It might not be right immediately. Depends on how fast my kid goes to sleep.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, I feel you. Definitely.
which usually isn't fast. Usually my wife goes to sleep before my son does. So
Right. All right. Well, everybody, it's
Yeah.
been a pleasure. Thanks for hopping on the call for a little bit, J. Paul. Thank you for sticking around for the entirety of the call. Chaos and Blizkin, I appreciate you guys contributing, and we will be in touch to coordinate future ventures.
No problem.
I really need to
Take it
figure
easy.
out who this coffee breath person is. This person's gonna be in big trouble.
We'll find him.
I will commit to daily summits. I shall not commit to daily summits. All right, bye.